Well, hello everyone. Beverly Jane here. Hope you are doing wonderful. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to look at some videos on well-being, spirituality, a little psychology stuck in there, and so much more. Once again, it is cold here in Minnesota. I'm at home, feeling comfy, have an oversized sweatshirt on, and just delighted to be here with you again today. So with that being said, let's get on with the show.
What does this mean? What about this? What about this? Once you know these three cues, you can't unsee them. Number one is pursed lips. This is disagreement being suppressed. The mouth tightens forward to hold something back. Neurologically, this happens when the prefrontal cortex is inhibiting a response. They're communicating, I don't agree, but I'm not saying it. Number two, pressed lips. This is anger or frustration under a bit of control. The lips compress because the jaw muscles engage to stop an emotional leak. The person is irritated and they're trying not to show it. This often appears when someone feels disrespected, overruled, or powerless in the moment. And number three, the one-sided smirk. That's contempt. And contempt is the most dangerous emotion in human relationships. It's a facial expression driven by moral superiority. One side of the mouth lifts because one hemisphere of the brain is signaling disdain. Psychologically, contempt means I'm above you. Once contempt shows up, respect is already gone.
Do you know we all have micro expressions that we are not even aware of? These expressions are related to how we're actually feeling inside. If we are upset with another person, but trying to act nice, that person's subconscious will pick up on the micro expressions in our face, in our lips, in our eyes, that we are not even aware that we are doing. Maybe it's better to simply be real with another person, because I'm sure there are many times where I was angry or disturbed and I put on a fake smile. And now that I think back, I'm pretty confident the other person kind of knew it wasn't authentic. All right, let's carry on.
The thing that is keeping most people back that you'll never see in these courses and books online is carrying shame. Who talks about it? Like even our closest friends, we're not going to go sit down and hang out together, go to a hot tub or go to the pool, and they're going to be like, dude, I'm really lonely. We can't talk about that. So we carry concealed shame. Shame is, I shouldn't have done that thing. I wish I would have acted another way. Or I should not enjoy X because of this behavior when I was younger. So I tell everybody in my life, and I even told my son this, like, you need to treat yourself like a golden retriever forever and be so self-forgiving of everything that's ever occurred in your past, no matter what happened, like that you are delusional, self-forgiving. It's only going to make your life better. Wow. Apologize when you need to, but you forgive yourself immediately. It's done. There's nothing you can do about it.
I get it. Every one of us has done something that was either hurtful, spiteful, deceitful, or unkind. And forgiveness happens when we are able to create new pictures, new memories that eventually phase out those memories that attack us with shame, remorse, guilt. That's one way. Making amends, apologizing, and trying to do better, that's all encompassed in the act of forgiving yourself.
How do you forgive yourself when you know that you weren't doing your best? Genuinely, like you knew in the moment that you should be more patient, that you shouldn't withdraw, that you shouldn't have done that, but then you did, and it turned out just as terrible as you thought it might. And then the people that you love, the people that you care about, they're hurt, they're withdrawn, and you're just looking at them. You're looking at yourself in the mirror, and you're just thinking, how could I have done that? Why did I do that? And how am I supposed to let myself off the hook or give myself some sort of compassion when I knew what I was doing was wrong? The secret is not to make the shame go away. It's to turn the shame into grief. Because you should grieve. There is loss there. Loss for someone that you love. And when you step into the loss, you step into this transformational power, that this pit in your stomach that you feel like you need to make go away, you can actually leverage that and use that to draw others in close and to push forward into all that you're supposed to be.
I want to make something very clear because I'm sick of seeing it on this friggin' app. Learning to tolerate discomfort is not about learning to tolerate mistreatment, neglect, abuse, anything like that. Learning to tolerate discomfort is about you figuring out how to stand in a space where you can advocate for yourself in moments where behaviors like that are happening. Why? Because it is uncomfortable when you start standing up for yourself. It is uncomfortable when you start holding boundaries. It is uncomfortable when you start choosing yourself over other people the way you have just given and given and given, and you are now reclaiming some of that energy. Those behaviors are inherently uncomfortable because they challenge the inner narrative of what you believe of yourself and what you think you are worthy of. Okay? I need you to sit with that for a second. I want you to sit with that energy of recognizing when we are talking about tolerating discomfort, we are talking about you tolerating change and behaving differently and acting in a way that chooses yourself.
Let's talk about the discomfort of saying no. I know that sometimes it's hard for me to say no. I get a heaviness in my chest and my thoughts immediately go to that person's going to be mad. They're going to be disappointed. You know, it is okay to say no. It is okay to put yourself first. But in any event, the discomfort is there. I get it. But remember, to thine own self be true.
Let me ask you a deep question. If all your memories were about to fade, which one would you choose to keep forever and why?
Okay, here we go. I'm looking for comments. If your memory was erased and you got to keep one memory, what would it be? Drop a comment below. I'd love to see your answers.
One of the resolutions a lot of people will have, even if it's not directly, is to find a partner. And I heard you referencing psychological stability as the thing we should be looking for in a partner. What do you mean by psychological stability?
After some sort of emotional perturbment, after something happens, how long does it take for them to get back to baseline?
So I'm looking for someone who is just emotionally stable, or they return
to their emotional equilibrium, right? So let's say that we're going on holiday and the flight is cancelled and it's a big deal because their family's going out there. Is that the sort of thing that happens and then there is a reversion to baseline within a few hours? Or is that the sort of thing that blows up the entire trip of the holiday with their family? Something occurs that causes emotions to be impacted. How long does it take to get back to baseline? That's emotional stability. And it's very predictive of relationship outcomes. Some other stuff, conscientiousness. Person's thoughtful. They think a lot about you specifically, and they care. Agreeableness. And someone who's moderately agreeable. You want somebody who, when you propose plans, is a yes and person. Like, yeah. And finally, you want someone who's moderately open in openness, personality trait. So there's 3: conscientiousness, agreeableness, openness to experience. You want someone who's moderately open so that they're prepared to go and do new things. As soon as you get into high openness, that's when wandering eyes come in. I also like the psychological stability thing. I think that's really, really lovely. You want somebody who feels like home. You want a relationship that feels like a safe harbor that you can wall yourself off against all of the ills of the world. Your business can fall apart, your health can decay, your friends can abandon you, but you know that at home, there's someone who loves you for who you are, not for what you do, and they've always got your back. And I think aiming for a relationship that feels like a safe harbor is a really good idea.
There are 2 things no one can ever take from you: your integrity and your soul. And if you compromise on the first, you've already lost the second.
My content is boring, and it's boring because it's hard to hear. Most people don't want honesty. They want to be told why they're doing well or why they're better than someone else and then just leave it at that. They want the 3 tips that will magically change their life. They want the morning routine that will finally make them feel like their nervous system isn't being mauled by a grizzly. But those 3 tips, that magical routine, they're band-aids. You're trying to fix an internal issue with external solutions. You might not actually need 3 ways to manage stress at work. What you might need is to start looking for a new job. You might not need a morning routine. You might need to start dealing with the things in your life that are making you miserable. Real change, true, genuine, lasting change takes time. And in today's world of instant gratification at every level, time feels offensive. We don't want to be reminded that time is finite. We want to believe that checking off 3 little boxes each day will take the edge off. My content will never be that. I will give you the answers for how to hold space for the complicated and how to find change that lasts and is not a quick fix. And if you're still here, you're my people, so welcome.
When we work on our inner patterns, like self-talk, values, and emotional regulation, our choices change, and external situations often improve as a result. Psychology shows that lasting change usually starts from the inside out and not the other way around.
Talk to God. I didn't say pray. I didn't say ask. I didn't say hope. Please, could you please? No. Speak. You and the Creator are one. You are the Creator. You are the Savior that you have been waiting for your entire time. Speak it into existence and watch it start happening.
I am here to give you permission and validation that this year has been an absolute, unbridled, unmanaged nightmare. For whatever reasons you name it, right? It doesn't have to be all the same reasons. This year's been a nightmare. And you do not have to finish it strong. You do not have to finish it out on top. You do not have to have a clear vision of what you want for next year. You do not have to have a full understanding of how this year has impacted you. You don't have to be efficient. You don't have to be ready to go. You don't have to finish it with a bang. No, none of that. You can rest. You can chill. You can recoup. You can actually lean into the season of quiet and stillness and find meaning and purpose in that, rather than feeling that the only option you have is to be productive and to go. You get to relax. After everything that's happened and everything that you've been through, you can take a moment for you. And I'm giving you permission for that as a therapist. You can even say I'm your therapist. Just say my therapist told me I had to do it.
It's not that often you hear somebody give you permission to rest. It's not laziness. It's self-care. It's compassion. So, if things have been feeling heavy or you're feeling overworked, you have permission to rest. Take care of you, okay? All right.
Here's a neuroscience tip that completely changed the way that I live my life, and I hope it does the same for you. It all has to do with dopamine. And dopamine is just a neurotransmitter that is responsible for higher cognitive functioning. So higher cognitive functioning, that just means it's responsible for things like inhibiting thoughts, attention, planning, emotions, pain and pleasure. It's that reward center of the brain, okay? Dopamine is also involved with cognitive processes that are more deliberate and effortful. That just means that these processes require a little more conscious effort. So think about self-discipline, focusing on something, critical thinking. These things don't come easy or automatically, I should say. They require a little bit of conscious effort, right? So why is this important? Well, when we continually trigger that reward center of the brain, which is so common in today's age. You know, we have social media, we have video games, we have TV, we have sugary foods, we have all kinds of stuff, pornography. All of these things trigger that reward center of the brain. And when we continually trigger it, our dopamine levels become depleted. Now, what does that mean? That means that these cognitive processes that require a little more effort, like self-discipline, like focus, like critical thinking, are going to become a lot harder to engage in. That means that we're going to resort to things that are more automatic, that require less effort. So we begin to live on autopilot, right? We begin to live from that conditioned mind a little bit more. We begin to give into our emotions a lot easier, live a little bit more compulsively. It's almost like the urges within begin to control us. We have a lot harder time focusing on things. Maybe our memory isn't as good. So this is why it is so important to become aware of how often you're triggering that reward center of your brain, and to really watch what it is that's triggering that, what it is for you. For me, it's my phone. I have to really become aware of how often I'm using my phone, because if I'm not, I notice that my focus goes down. I notice that I'm not as disciplined, all these different things, and it really begins to impact the way I live my life. So become aware of what it is for you that is triggering that reward center of your brain, and see if you can limit how often you're triggering that reward center.
Everything you've ever wanted is one step outside your comfort zone. If you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you can achieve anything.
Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you got a little hit of dopamine, and I hope that you were able to take some wisdom from these videos. But if you'd be so kind as to like and subscribe, that would make my heart so happy. Thank you again for hanging out with me. And if no one has told you this today, you're pretty awesome. All right, take care. Till the next time.